Okay, so now that you have entered the information about solution sets into your notebook, now you're going to get a piece of paper that looks something like this. It may be a different color. It's just whatever color the printer spits out. But this is going to go on the next page of your notebook. And if you don't know what page that is, you can check your Haiku page for instructions. So I'm going to show you how to do this particular little activity. And we're working on solution sets for inequality. So a lot of these are going to look familiar. They look like a lot of the ones that we did in class today. We have two of those challenge ones. If you want to put a star by those so you'll know that those are those challenge ones. Be careful with the challenge ones. Remember that they don't go on and on and on forever like the other ones do. They have a set group of numbers that could possibly fit in that particular spot. So I'm going to show you how to do the first one. This is what I want you to do with this activity. So the first thing that you're going to see is you're going to see an inequality. So this one says n plus 2.5 is greater than 6.8. So what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to solve this. Okay, we're going to solve this inequality. Grab that calculator. If you want to use it, you can use it for this activity. So n plus 2.5 is greater than 6.8. That means I want to undo a plus 2.5. So I'm going to do a minus 2.5. You should be doing this along with me. If you haven't already gotten your copy, you can pause and get your copy, and then you can come back and restart. So if I do plus 2.5 minus 2.5, obviously those two are going to cancel out, and I'm left with just an n on this side. I do not flip my sign. So now I'm going to do 6.8, and you may not have to have a calculator to do this. You can probably do it just by simple math. So 6.8 minus 2.5 leaves me an answer of 4.3. So there's my answer. So now that I have this, this means that my number has to be greater than 4.3. We're going to do two things in this big blank space over here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to graph this inequality. Now, I can't graph it until I've solved it. That's why I made you solve it before you come over here to graph it. 4.3 is the number in question, so I'm going to go ahead and label my number line to look something like this. So you see I'm going in whole tenth increments. I didn't go to 4.31 and 4.32. I just did the next whole tenth. So here's my number line. Now, if the number in question is n is greater than 4.3, n is greater than 4.3, that means I'm going to put a circle around 4.3. Now, because this is greater than and not greater than or equal to, I'm going to leave that open. And then if I need numbers that are greater than 4.3, I'm going to show that my graph goes like this. So this is my graph for n is greater than 4.3. Now that you've done that, we're now going to write the solution set. So we're going to choose a group of numbers that could possibly be the solution set for this inequality. Now, the neat thing about an inequality is that it's not just one answer. My answer may be completely different than the person next to me, and as long as it makes the inequality true, then that solution set works. So a possible solution set, if I look at my graph, would be 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, and anything past that. But keep in mind that if Johnny is being really smart today and he wants to say something like 17, 18, 19, and so on, is Johnny technically wrong? Absolutely not. Because if you look at this graph, anything to the right of this number would still be on that graph. We just don't draw it. So 17 would actually fall way out here. 18 would fall out here. 19 would fall out here. So that would satisfy that, because if you don't believe me, you plug 17 in here. Is 17 greater than 4.3? Yes, it is. So you choose the solution set that you want. I think you're going to see them more like this on your test, and I know that you'll see them more like this on a classroom test, but this is technically not incorrect. So what you're going to do is you are going to do the rest of these. So you'll solve each one. You'll come over here, you'll draw the graph, and then you'll write a possible solution set for that inequality. When you get down here, there's nothing to solve. You'll just come over here and draw the graph, and then write the solution set that could possibly work for that inequality. Make sure that you finish this and then you glue it on the page in your notebook as instructed on your Haiku site. Thanks, guys.